Maul screamed as the electricity overwhelmed him. He wanted to beg for death, but he couldn't even form the words in his mouth. Suddenly, Yoda was in front of him, blocking the lightning with his own hands, using a Jedi technique that Maul couldn't fathom. However, the Grand Master was exceedingly old. He too was tired. Yoda staggered backwards. The effort of blocking Palpatine's lightning was extremely taxing on his old bones. He felt his knees beginning to shake, threatening to buckle. Palpatine laughed hysterically, sensing a victory that was mere moments away. Greetings, people of the galaxy. I am Zach, and welcome to the newly christened ADHD. In the final arc of the final season of the Clone Wars, Maul asks Ahsoka to join him so that they can take down Darth Sidious together. Ahsoka ultimately refuses, but she was extremely close to joining him. So what would have happened if the two former apprentices had united? Well, today I'm going to attempt to answer that question. The first thing to keep in mind is Anakin. The reason Ahsoka rejected Maul's team-up request was because she did not believe that Anakin could ever turn to the dark side. And, well, we know that she was very wrong about that. So in this alternate universe, Ahsoka will accept the possibility that although Anakin is a good guy at heart, his attachments, namely to Padme, could lead him to doing some very bad things. So, Ahsoka agrees to join Maul under the condition that he call off the attack on Mandalore. Let me be clear, this is very much going to be a shaky alliance between Ahsoka and Maul. They're only working together because they feel that they absolutely have to. With time being short, Maul and Ahsoka depart Mandalore as soon as they can. Now, Maul knows that Palpatine has something planned regarding the elimination of the Jedi, but I don't think he knows exactly what that is. He likely knows the big picture, but not the details. I don't think he knows about the inhibitor chips planted within the clones. However, Maul is cautious, so rather than boarding the Venator-class Star Destroyer with Ahsoka and all the other clones, Maul would likely want to take a smaller ship for stealth and safety purposes. Rex, not wanting to leave Ahsoka alone with someone as dangerous as Maul, leaves the 332nd Company in the hands of Jesse. He accompanies Maul and Ahsoka on the smaller ship with a handful of trusted clones, much to Maul's chagrin. The group sets course for Coruscant. On the journey, Maul fills Ahsoka and the clones in on who Palpatine really is, and he explains how he engineered the Clone Wars. I think that the clones would find this particularly hard to accept. Rex would struggle with this news. He definitely was aware that something strange was going on due to his whole ordeal with Fives, but he ultimately is loyal to the Republic first and foremost. Everyone on board the ship is in the midst of absorbing the shocking information when an immense tremor in the Force hits Ahsoka like a tidal wave. Rex receives his orders from Palpatine and shakily aims his weapons at Ahsoka. He manages to tell her to find Fives in the records, but his resolve is soon dominated by the chip, and he begins firing at her. Maul ignites his lightsaber and aims to cut down the group of clones, but Ahsoka throws him back with the Force before delivering another strong Force push towards Rex and the clones, sending them into a wall, immobilized. Once they have the clones safely restrained, Ahsoka directs the ship's protocol droid to access the Republic records, much like she did in the actual events of the show. She and Maul therefore learn of the inhibitor chips. Maul wishes to destroy the clones, believing that it would be foolhardy to keep them alive. Ahsoka, with all her compassion, argues that their chips should be removed. Maul refuses to budge until Ahsoka suggests that there may be a way that the clones could be useful in their mission ahead. Begrudgingly, Maul agrees to allow the chips to be removed. Using the medbay of the ship, Ahsoka and Maul remove the chips from Rex and the clones. Once they are all awake and docile, they are released. It is only now that things have calmed down that Ahsoka attempts to contact Anakin, but she gets no response as he is busy killing younglings.
This is where the fun begins.
Next, she tries Obi-Wan, being sure to keep Maul conveniently on the other side of the ship. Obi-Wan gravely informs her that he and Master Yoda survived and were meeting on Senator Organa's ship, and that she should join them there. Maul, Ahsoka, Rex, and the clones arrive on the Tantive 4. Obi-Wan immediately draws his lightsaber at the appearance of Maul, but Ahsoka moves between the bitter enemies, explaining that there is a much greater threat to worry about. Yoda and Obi-Wan listen as Maul and Ahsoka explain the full extent of Order 66. Maul notes that Anakin likely has already become Palpatine's new apprentice, and that he must be dealt with in addition to Palpatine. Yoda, knowing that Skywalker may still yet be saved, instructs Obi-Wan and Ahsoka to track him down, while Yoda and Maul confront Palpatine together. Obi-Wan and Ahsoka sneak onto Coruscant and interview Padme, trying to glean some information as to Anakin's whereabouts. In the film, Padme is unwilling to directly tell Obi-Wan where Anakin is, because she believes Obi-Wan seeks to kill him. I think with Ahsoka present, Padme would realize that they truly do wish to save him. She willingly flies them to Mustafar to confront Anakin together. Meanwhile, Yoda and Maul formulate a plan to deal with Emperor Palpatine. Yoda questions Maul about Palpatine's combative tendencies in order to give them a better chance at defeating the Sith Lord. Soon, the two unlikely allies take a ship down to Coruscant along with Rex and the clones, in hopes of ending Palpatine's short rule as Emperor. After arriving on Mustafar, the three people Anakin cared about most walk down the ramp of Padme's ship together. Anakin approaches apprehensively, anger stirring within him. However, I believe things would play out much differently with Ahsoka being there. Like Anakin, Ahsoka distrusted the Jedi Council. They displayed a lack of faith and belief in her when she was accused of murder and terrorism. They did not stand by her, and they turned her over to the Republic, really without a thought. If there's anyone that can truly level with Anakin in this moment, it is Ahsoka. Together, she, Padme, and Obi-Wan lay out the facts. I believe that they would first make it abundantly clear that they did not want to fight Anakin, and that they were not
here to kill me!
Instead, they make him see that they all love Anakin, and that it is precisely that reason why they have come. They show Anakin specifically how Palpatine had been manipulating him, manipulating all of them for years. And lastly, they beg him to see just how heinous his actions have been as a Sith, the slaughter of countless Jedi, both young and old. Anakin stands in complete silence, his eyes staring coldly at the trio before him, his face an unreadable mask. His mechanical hand slowly reaches downward for the hilt of his lightsaber. Yoda and Maul stride into Palpatine's office, flinging the Crimson Guards to the side like ragdolls. Palpatine stares in shock at the unbelievable sight of Maul and Yoda standing side by side. Maul mocks his former master's new pruny appearance before Yoda stonily demands Palpatine's immediate surrender. Palpatine chuckles before rising from his chair, his twin lightsabers shooting into his hands. Palpatine was indeed wary of Yoda. Of any Force user alive, Yoda's power was likely the only that rivaled his own. However, Palpatine did not fear Maul. He had shown his ability to overpower Maul with ease, so he would move to quickly take Maul out of the fight. Lunging across his desk with shocking agility, Palpatine arced both points of his crimson blades at Maul's chest. However, Maul was not named Agent Kolar. His name was Maul. Maul swiftly activated his double-bladed saber, parrying Palpatine's thrust at his chest just by the skin of his teeth. Yoda activated his green blade, flipping into action, attempting to flank Palpatine. Palpatine blocked Yoda's attack with one saber and Maul's strike with the other, before dancing away to put ground between them, assessing his attackers with a scowl. Maul twirled his saber violently and spun at Palpatine, who sidestepped and sent Maul into the desk with a well-aimed force push. He then directed a blast of lightning at Yoda, who deflected it back at him with ease, while Maul slowly rose to his feet. Back on Mustafar, Anakin removed his lightsaber from his belt. He held it in his hand for a moment, staring down at it, thinking of all the innocent lives he'd snuffed out with that deep blue blade. Anakin approached Ahsoka slowly before dropping the saber at her feet, a lone tear streaming down his face as he looked down in shame. Darth Vader was no more. Anakin would agree to return to Coruscant, where he would insist that he must be put on trial for his crimes. The duel had by now made its way into the Senate as Palpatine, Yoda, and Maul bounced and leapt across the various platforms, their blades colliding and clashing at immense speeds. Every time there was an opening on Maul, Yoda would be there to block Palpatine's attack before it could fall true. He was a little green blur of frenetic energy. Palpatine was tired. He needed to end this soon, or it would surely mean the end of his reign. No. He had planned too meticulously, been too patient for it all to go up in flames at the hands of his greatest enemy and his failed pupil. With a renewed vigorous rage, Palpatine hurled a floating platform at Yoda, managing to send him falling into the depths of the Senate below. He turned to Maul, cackling at the turn of the tide. Before Maul could even react, his nerve endings were being absolutely flooded with pain. More pain than Maul had ever felt as his former master unleashed a strain of lightning. Palpatine poured all the hatred and the rage he could muster into his Force lightning, causing Maul's skin to smoke. Maul screamed as the electricity overwhelmed him. He wanted to beg for death, but he couldn't even form the words in his mouth. Suddenly, Yoda was in front of him, blocking the lightning with his own hands, using a Jedi technique that Maul couldn't fathom. However, the Grand Master was exceedingly old. He too was tired. Yoda staggered backwards. The effort of blocking Palpatine's lightning was extremely taxing on his old bones. He felt his knees beginning to shake, threatening to buckle. Palpatine laughed hysterically, sensing a victory that was mere moments away. As the electric currents began to move up Yoda's arms, filling him with terrible pain, Palpatine's laugh crescendoed into a mad cackle. He had won. The Jedi would be no more. He would rule the galaxy unchallenged for all of eternity. Palpatine's laugh faltered as his gaze fell down to the burning hole in his chest. He turned around to face his assailant, only to find a group of clones, with the closest one's pistol smoking.
Ironic,
Palpatine thought, before collapsing. Yoda supported himself against the side of the platform, breathing heavily as Maul got to his feet. Yoda nodded solemnly at Captain Rex, who slowly holstered his pistol, only to quickly draw it once more as the sound of a lightsaber activating filled Yoda's ears. Maul boldly, seeking to destroy Yoda and take Palpatine's place as Emperor, swung downward at Yoda, who managed to dodge the strike with the last of his energy. Yoda reached out with the Force mid-flip and pulled Palpatine's discarded lightsaber directly into Maul's chest, killing him instantly. In the days that followed, Order 66 was nixed. Senator Bail Organa was installed as acting Chancellor of the Republic. Figures such as Masamara, Sly Moore, and the Kaminoan Prime Minister Lama Su were arrested for their roles in Palpatine's deception. Anakin Skywalker was put on trial for the slaughter of numerous Jedi, and was sentenced to life in prison. Padme would give birth to Luke and Leia, and would likely not allow them to become Jedi, as she resented the path Anakin went down, which the Jedi were partially responsible for. They would live happy, normal lives as the children of a powerful senator of Naboo. Obi-Wan and Yoda would recall all Jedi to the temple, and would begin to rebuild the Order, taking care to learn from their past mistakes. They would invite Ahsoka back to the Order, and she would accept. Ahsoka would be vital to the reformation of the Jedi Order. She would advise Yoda that the Order should move away from Coruscant into the Outer Rim, where the Jedi could more effectively help people who actually need them, rather than being servants to the Republic. All in all, I believe that things would have certainly gone better for the galaxy had Ahsoka chosen to join Maul that day on Mandalore. That's what I believed would have happened if Ahsoka and Maul had joined forces. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe here for all things Star Wars, and who knows, maybe we'll throw in some Harry Potter or some other stuff. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the future.